Hello everybody and welcome to my Silent Hill 2 HD Collection fucking 10-star run. It's happening. So you're watching it right now. This is my 10-star run that I recorded. And I'm going to be going over in depth. Look at me fucking faffing around in this room. Holy shit. Those were all camera angles. And playing with the 2D controls makes it a little finicky. But yeah, fucking, the hell was I saying? I'm going to be going over in depth how to fucking do this run. And the 10-star run is no fucking joke. Which I'm sure you've done your research already, which is why you're clicking on this video. Because you want a visual aid and maybe someone to whisper in your ear that it's going to be okay. And that you can do it, and that you could pull it off. Truth be told, I have no idea if you could do it, or if you could pull it off. You have to be pretty damn skilled at this game to accomplish the 10-star run, and it is not easy. It is one of the hardest things, if not the hardest thing, I have ever attempted in a video game. And I am not exaggerating when I say that. Now, that might sound a little off-putting, but the truth is, you wouldn't be going for the 10-star run if you didn't truly love this game, and if you weren't, like, super passionate about it. Which is exactly how I feel about this game, and that's why... Are you fucking kidding me? But yeah, as I was saying before I got rudely interrupted, I am very passionate about this game. I love it. It's definitely one of my most favorite games I've ever played. Really enjoyed it, and so I was willing to actually and foolishly attempt the 10-star run. So here it is. This is my run that you're viewing right now, obviously recorded after the fact because my audio, as you'll notice, doesn't match up with my little face cam in the corner there. That's because this audio that you're hearing right now is recorded after the fact. If you want to check out me doing this in real time and you want to check out the VODs of the live streams, boom, there you go. There's a link to them. If you want to see my arduous journey through this game, I recorded literally all my playthroughs. My very first one, which was blind, and my first initial thoughts and, you know, enjoying the game my first time around. That was a lot of fun. And then the following 4 or 5 playthroughs, however fucking many there were after that, to get all the different endings and shit. So they're all there on my YouTube channel. You can check them out and follow along with me if you want, or don't. Completely up to you. But anyways, that's why my face cam's in the shot there, because this is the same footage from those streams. But yeah, so the 10-star run. A lot goes into this run, so let's do a recap while the game is pretty slow-paced right now. The intro is just you pretty much running to get to the first enemy, and then the game just kind of kicks off from there. But yeah, so to get the 10-star run, let's recap. So everything you need the 8 special items that, you know, you need to beat the game a couple times at least in order to have all of them available to you. You also have to clear the Maria scenario in order to attempt this, and you need you also, most importantly, you need the clear game save data of every single ending, and you have to have all the files separately. You can't beat the game, save, and then beat another run getting a different ending and save over that same save that you had before. You can't do that. All your clear game datas have to be separate. So you have to have the save clear game data of every run. And that also includes the Maria scenario. So when you beat the game, you unlock the Maria scenario, which is a sub-scenario where you get to play as Maria, as you would probably fucking assume by the name. But yeah, so you need a file on that as well. And it isn't until you beat the Maria scenario that the blue gem becomes available. So out of all the special items, apparently, I've read guides that say you need to pick up the chainsaw, but I don't see why you would, and I'm not 100% on that one, but, I mean, you would pick it up anyway, because the chainsaw is the go-to weapon of choice, at least in my opinion, during the Eddie boss fight. So, I fucking love using the chainsaw on him. I think it works really fucking well. So, you know, there's no way I wouldn't loot that anyway. So, yeah, there's the blue gem right at the beginning, the chainsaw, and then there's the white prism. Oh, there's also the hyper spray in the trailer on Saul Street. Check your map if you want to know where that is. You could actually go run over and get it right now if you wanted to, during this point in the game. But there's no point to that because after you clear the hospital, you have to go that way anyway. So there's no point in wasting time running all the way to Saul Street when it's not even the way you're supposed to go. That would just be a waste of time. So you could grab it later once you clear the hospital. But yes, we do have to get the hyper spray. That also counts towards the 10-star run. As I was saying, the items for the rebirth ending, which you would have got already, the White Chrism, the Book of Lost Memories, the Obsidian Goblet, and the Book of Crimson Ceremony. And I think that's everything that you're supposed to loot for the special items. But you also, not including the special items, as you can see me picking up stuff right now, you also have to loot 150 or more bog standard items. So that's like health or fucking ammo. Also, I read this and it's really scary. So you're gonna want to keep it in mind during your run. You're only allowed 2 saves during the 10-star run. That's another stipulation to actually get it. And I'll tell you where those 2 saves are recommended. But, very important note. When you go to save, don't click on the save point itself, and then it goes like, do you want to save your game? Don't even go to that screen unless you're saving. Like, let's say, let's make a fictional example here. Let's say you click on the save point, and it asks you if you want to save, and then you're like, nah, changed my mind, I'm not going to save here, and then you back out. I think the game actually treats that as a save, even if you didn't hit yes to save. Like, if you just click on the save point itself and interact with the save menu, I think the game registers that as you fucking saved, even if you don't do it. So, just, for the love of God, don't ever click on a save point unless you are actually making a save. I read that somewhere, I don't know if it's true, but hey, I wouldn't fucking chance that shit if I were you, so don't fuck around. Anyways, and as you can see, I'm gonna quickly note right now, I'll continue talking about the requirements for the 10-star run as I progress, but I'm gonna talk quickly right now about what's going on now. So, we killed the first enemy in the game, which was mandatory in order to get the radio and the stick. And as you can see, I've actually run down the street here, which is like away from the apartments where you're supposed to go. And what I actually do is I try to pick up as many kills here as I can without straying too far away from the path. So I am still more or less making my way to the apartments, and I don't deviate from that too much. But I do kill every enemy along the way, unless there's 2 enemies right beside each other. This enemy you see me fighting, I actually forgot its name, is definitely the most annoying enemy in the game. This enemy is a fucking nightmare to fight. He's awful. I hate him. Can't stand him. He's easily the most rage-inducing enemy. And the reason for that is because not only does he have a really annoying ranged projectile attack, which he can, depending on whether or not his AI behaves, he can just hit you with that straight out the gate as you go to close the gap to get a melee attack. As you can see, right fucking there, exactly what just happened. That can happen a lot, and it's completely random. Like, the AI may decide to do that, the AI may not decide to do that. Also, you need to be, unlike right here, I fucked up huge there. I went for a additional swing, even after I had knocked him down, and normally if you do that, if you don't kick him and execute him right away, he'll just start crawling around and really fast. And the crawl speed, it's funny, like they're so lumbering and clunky when they're walking around the street, but the second you knock them down and they're down on their belly, like they become fucking Usain Bolt. Like, it's fucking nuts. But anyways, those enemies are a nightmare, and unless it's reasonable to actually run up and kick him, when they're down on their belly like that, like as you can see, I'm chasing one right now, I figured it wouldn't be too rough to get him, which is why I decided to go for him. I don't even remember if I get him here, but, oh, he actually stands back up. But yeah, in most cases where that happens, I would just fucking, like, if it's too inconvenient, I would just literally just leave. Like, if I don't remember if that happens to me during the apartments, but that's a great example of when I would just say, fuck it. If any of those guys ever went down in the apartment and they're fucking crawling around like a maniac, I would never go try to, like, go out of my way to kick him. I would just leave and ignore him. because they just become such a huge hassle when that happens. Also, as you can see, there was a bug enemy. This enemy was a prick with the triple fucking attack there. But, yeah, as you can see, when I passed that bug enemy, I kicked him. That does count as a kill. It is a pretty small, insignificant enemy, although he's terribly annoying, especially when you get in the apartments. You'll end up taking a lot of hits from that little fucker. But if you can, just mash X as they're passing by you, and usually James will get a kick off and you'll just kill him. Usually. Sometimes that enemy doesn't behave either, and he could be an absolute nightmare to kill. But yeah, so I'm just trying to kill as many enemies as I can, that, like, within reason, like I said, and if there's ever two of these guys right next to each other, I would never go for a kill on them, on either of them, because that's you're just asking to take a lot of damage from these guys. Never, well, that's pretty much typically rule of thumb, like, you never really want to fight two enemies at the same time, like, ever, at any point. But, because it's just too dangerous. You're risking taking way too much damage. Speaking of taking damage, during the 10-star run, you are only allowed to take less than 500 points of damage. Now, to put this into perspective for you, James has 100 health. From when he's at full health, he has 100, and it takes 100 points of damage in order to kill him and completely deplete his health. So the way you kind of want to judge it when you're playing your 10-star run is, you'll notice I ran back for this enemy because I heard him really close, and that's the only reason I did that. I thought I could get another cheeky kill in, which I do. But, yeah, anyways, so basically the way you want to judge it with your health and how much damage you take is basically if you drop from full to near death 5 times, then that's pretty much the limit of how much damage you're allowed to take, roughly speaking. And basically, like, most of the time, in order to keep a good track of, like, how much damage you have taken, you kind of want to let yourself drop to, like, really low health, which sounds dangerous, and it is, but, most enemies, even if you pause or go into the item screen and see that your health is in the red, most enemies still won't kill you, unless it's, like, a boss, like Pyramid Head or something that does a fuck ton of damage. See, that enemy, I think I just ignore him, or maybe I don't remember. But yeah, actually, so as you can see, I took a lot of damage in the streets, and that's the thing. As I said towards the beginning of this video, those enemies are just a fucking nightmare to fight, and you shouldn't stress too much about taking hits from them, because it's gonna happen. Like, it's unavoidable. Those enemies are a prick, and there's not much you can do about it. So, like, don't beat yourself up too much if you take a lot of hits from these guys. If you take an absolutely unreasonable amount of hits, then yeah, obviously restart. But just go into it knowing that you are going to get hit by these guys, and there's no avoiding it. Like, it's completely up to them whether or not they're going to hit you. At least for now. That changes once you get the handgun. Then you're completely and very in control of when you take damage, once you get your first weapon. Ranged weapon, that is. But yeah, so for now, just don't stress out too much about it. So we talked about the 500 points of damage. Oh, and before I get off topic with the 500 points of damage, there is, and I'll bring this up again later, there is a part of the game where Pyramid Head knocks your ass off the hospital roof. You get a cutscene, he blasts you into the chain link fence, and then you fall into the 3rd floor locked area, into the insanity ward, whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah, when that happens, even if James is at full health, you will be put to dying health, and that damage is scripted. Like, it has to happen. It's part of the game and the plot. You're supposed to take a fuck ton of damage there. But what's nice about that part is that the game doesn't count that damage that you took towards the 500 that you're allowed to take. So you could pretty much, when you see that scene, you could just full heal, put yourself back to full health, and not even worry about it. Like, it didn't matter towards the damage that you're allowed to take, as I said. But yeah, so just don't stress too much about that part. But anyways, moving on. So yeah, and the apartments here, now that we're here, I should talk about this, are where you're going to want to rack up a lot of kills. And you'll find that in the apartments and the hospital are where you're going to get most of your kills in general, like those parts of the game. And another requirement to getting the 10-star run is you need to kill 75 enemies with fighting. So that means melee attacks, like using melee weapons, like the stick that you saw me using earlier, but much easier than that, and the tried and true method is what you just saw me do to that guy. You shoot him, you wait till he goes down, or keep shooting him until he goes down, and just run up and kick him. That counts as a fighting kill, so that's how you're going to get most of your fighting kills. And you also need 75 kills by shooting. That's an additional 75, so in total you need 150 kills throughout this run, and it's what's going to take up most of the time of this playthrough. Like, most of your time spent will be for getting the kills that you need. And it sounds daunting, it kind of is. It is a part of what makes this run so tricky, but I can promise you that it's very doable, and you can definitely stay under that 3-hour time mark, which, now that I bring that up, is another requirement to getting the 10 stars. You need to beat the game in under 3 hours, which is, self-explanatory. The only point I can make about helping you with that is whenever you pause the game, it stops the in-game timer, which is really nice. And you will see me many times throughout this video just randomly pause my game. I edited it all out whenever I pause, because there were moments where I'd pause and literally just like gather my thoughts and be like, okay, what's coming up? What do I have to do? How can I mentally prepare myself for what's ahead of me? That type of thing. And there are many times throughout this run where I stop, pause, like, get my composure and fucking tackle whatever's ahead. And I highly recommend that you do the same. As you can see, I just paused there, but like I said, I edited out because there were moments where I kept it paused for quite a while I gathered my thoughts. But yeah, so just don't be afraid to do that, because like I said, it does stop the in-game timer. So, fucking exploit that. Use it as much as possible to help you, and don't even worry. That's actually something, what we just saw, that I really want to talk about. So a really neat thing about this game is if you attack an enemy in mid-attack animation, you won't take the damage. Even if it looks like you straight up got hit, you will end up canceling the damage that you would have took otherwise, which is really neat. And then there are some clutch moments that come into play where you get a shot off at the last possible second and end up saving you from taking some damage, which is really nice. So that is the thing in this game. Don't be afraid to try to go for those clutch saves for yourself. But yeah, and as you can see, there are a ton of enemies in the apartment here, which is, like I said, how you're going to get most of your fighting kills. And another thing about the apartments, and it's also true in the hospital, is when you come in and out of rooms, any room really, enemies very often will respawn. And you're going to want to make use of that. It's actually how you get most of your kills throughout the run. And basically the way you want to look at it is this. When you finish the apartments, all of the apartments and the hospital, by that point, you should have 75 fighting kills. And, obviously with the purpose of this video, if you want to know exactly which enemies you should be fighting and which ones you should take the time to kill, how many times you should come in and out of a room to make enemies respawn, that's the purpose of this video. To help you guys get comfortable with that and learning at what times you should be doing that and how much time you should be allocating towards doing that. See, that enemy, I straight up just ignored him because he's a motherfucker. As I said, when they're on the floor like that, they're just a nightmare. Don't even bother. But, Yeah, even if you ignore some enemies like that, when that happens, there's still way more than enough kills to get. So don't stress too much about it. And also don't stress too much about, like, being under 3 hours, because as long as you follow this guideline, you'll definitely make it. So, like I said, by the end of the hospital, you should have your 75 fighting kills, and then immediately after the hospital, when you have to make your way towards the Historical Society, that's when you want to start working on your shooting kills. And if you actually spend enough time running all over the streets of Silent Hill at that part of the game, you can actually pick up your 75 shoot kills if you go everywhere that there is to go where there are enemies. You can actually, there's 75 on the streets right there. So then by the time you get to the Historical Society, you'll have all the kills that you need throughout the run, and at that point you can just literally focus on completing the game, and it's a big load off your mind, and a de-stressing moment, a moment of peace where a great weight has been lifted off your shoulders. This fight right here was really risky because both those enemies are very close to each other, and when you take down one, it's very easy to get hit by the other guy while you're trying to do that. So that was a very risky fight, and I kind of got unlucky with, because sometimes that doesn't always happen. Like when you come in this room, sometimes those guys can be pretty like spread out and isolated, and then you'll have enough time to kill one before the other is an issue. But yes, so I talked about looting the 8 special items. And that happens a lot. What just happened here? That happens a lot throughout this game, where you come out of a room and there's a guy right the fuck in front of you, like right fucking next to you. It's always very scary when that happens, but you always want to be on your toes during this run. Like, always be hyper aware, be ready, hand on the trigger, or finger on the trigger rather. Like, just always be ready for that bullshit. But something really annoying that this game does, and I'll talk more about it when it happens, whenever you exit the item screen, or come out of a door, like if you go through a door and load into a new room, what happens is the game fades to black, and the game actually starts playing. Like, enemies are moving, coming at you, before you can even see what's happening. Before the screen fades in and you're allowed to, see what's going on again, enemies are, like, closing the gap on you. And if you walk into a room where an enemy is right the fuck next to you, he's gonna land a hit on you before you even have time to react, because the screen will just be fading in as you're taking the damage. And it's bullshit. There's several moments throughout this game where that happens, and it's very, very infuriating. You will take some cheap-ass fucking hits that are completely unfair and unreasonable just because of that. And there's not much you can do other than just having the in-game knowledge of knowing which rooms those are, where that's very likely to happen. And there are rooms, and I will try to point them out, where that enemies are, like, when you enter the room, they'll always be there. Some rooms, it's random where an enemy will be, but there are many rooms in the game where enemies are, like, there will always be an enemy in that room when you get there. And like I said, I'll try to point it out when I see it. But yeah, so there's the 8 special items, the 150 plus items, the take less than 500 damage, the 75 melee kills, and the 75 shoot kills. Beating the game under 3 hours, and you only get 2 saves. What the hell am I forgetting? What else? There's the complete the boat segment in under 1:20, but I'm not going to talk about that until we actually get there. That part's a fucking nightmare, and I have a lot I want to say about that when we get to it. But like I said, I'm not going to worry about that too much just yet. And I genuinely can't remember what the fucking other requirements are. What the hell are they? Oh, I guess the only other thing I didn't say is that you have to play this run on hard action level and hard riddle level. Or extra counts as well, but it's more likely that you're going to be on hard. But yeah, I guess that's it. That's all the requirements for the 10-star run. But yeah, so you're going to want to keep that stuff very much in mind. And I guess I'll talk about where we're going to make our first save, because that's all you're really going to be thinking about as you play. But the most popular recommended saves that almost anyone who's done this run will tell you is your first save should be before the Pyramid Head chase in the hospital, where you and Maria are running from Pyramid Head down the narrow hallway. You definitely want to save before that, because that part there's a lot of RNG in that part if you don't shoot Pyramid Head. Now, you can shoot Pyramid Head during that chase to slow him down, thus allowing Maria to create more distance. However, I don't like doing that, because I find if you just keep trying, eventually you'll have a run where she lives and you didn't even have to shoot him. Like, it's completely RNG. If you were to just keep doing that part back to back without shooting Pyramid Head, you'll find sometimes he gets her and sometimes he doesn't. But, yeah, so I just keep doing it until she, like, lives, and I'll just take that instead of, like, busting my ass to try to fucking shoot him. But, yeah, so, but because she can die there and it's an instant game over if she does, that's definitely the most popular first save to make. And it's kind of nice, too, because as soon as you save there and then you beat him, that's when you have to start working on your 75 shoot kills. And, you know, it's definitely very beneficial to save before that, just in case something goes terribly wrong. Because obviously the more time you spend fighting enemies, that's more risk of you taking more damage. So it's a really nice save to make, and I absolutely agree with it. Like, that would be my recommendation as well for your first save. Also, I'm going to talk about this right now, because it is possible to fuck this up, but you didn't see it because I skipped the cutscene, but we went into that room because we needed to see Eddie. And, you, believe it or not, you have to see that cutscene in order to progress. And this game's a bit of a bitch, because if you don't see Eddie and watch that cutscene, if you were to just ignore that room altogether and then try to progress through the apartments, there's literally a point where there's a room you have to go in, and as you can see right here, I'm making use of the enemy respawn. Each time I come in and out of this room, there's new enemies, so I'm just racking up more fighting kills. And there's, as you can see, you know, throughout the points of the video, the times where I choose to do that, you should be doing that as well. I think I've already done it once, but I didn't point it out. But yeah, that's definitely something. As you can see, I came in again to check again, but you'll know very well, as long as you literally never turn your radio off. It's stupid to do that. I don't know why you would ever turn your radio off, but yeah, as long as your radio is on, you'll know immediately when you enter a room if there's an enemy. But yeah, as I was saying, if you were to, for whatever reason, not watch the cutscene with Eddie and just skip his room, there's a point where one of the way you have to go just literally gets blocked off, and I think the text says something stupid like, some mysterious force blocks your path, and it's just like, what the fuck? All because you didn't go see Eddie. And yes, that can happen. So you definitely want to make sure you don't fuck that up. Make sure you watch that cutscene with Eddie. Also, this part. So when you get to this part, this puzzle, I believe, is random. You'll see the solution I just got from the toilet. I believe it's random. I believe that answer is always something different. And some of the puzzles in this game are like that. And that's the thing about being on hard puzzle level. Like, some of the... Well, I would say probably most of the puzzles in this game have a... like, an answer that's always the same. But some of the puzzles have randomized answers. And I'll point them out as we pass them. But yeah, you'll notice that I didn't even do the safe. I didn't open the safe that number was for, that I picked up out of the toilet. And if you open that safe, you actually get a fuck ton of ammo. The reason why I didn't do it is because, like I said, the answer is always random, and that was an answer that I actually didn't know the answer to. Like, I'm still not 100% on how to do that puzzle on every difficulty. So when I saw what I got there, I was like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not faffing around with the fucking safe just for a little extra ammo. Now, normally you would want to open that safe because the extra ammo is really nice. However, you don't have to if you're using bullet adjustment. And this was something I probably should have talked about earlier in the run, but this video so far has been information overload, and I've been talking nonstop. So it's hard to keep track of everything I should be saying and at what time. Hopefully you'll forgive me for that. But yeah, bullet adjustment is definitely something that you want to make use of when you go for the 10-star run, and it's something you should have done before you started your run. So what bullet adjustment is when you go into the options menu, if you hit R1 or right bumper, I guess, if you're playing on Xbox, in the options menu, it'll take you to the extra options menu. It's kind of like a secret, because the game doesn't tell you that it even exists. You kind of just have to figure it out. But yeah, when you get to the extra menu, man, that bug is a nightmare. I'm having a lot of trouble killing them. Don't spend too much time if they're giving you a lot of trouble. But, yeah. Anyways, so when you get to the extra options menu, you'll see an option called bullet adjustment, and it'll be set to 1x by default. You'll want to up that to 3x. And what that does is, normally, for example, when you pick up a pack of handgun ammo, it only has 10 bullets in it, like, by default. But when you have bullet adjustment set to 3x, it'll be 30 bullets in a pack of handgun ammo. So it ups the amount of ammo you get by 3 times worth. So, and that goes for all ammo, not just handgun ammo. Shotgun ammo will be 3 times the amount. Same with rifle ammo. So, yeah, you'll definitely want to make use of that. And it's, like, pretty much mandatory. If you have it set to 3x, I find the game just throws so much fucking ammo at you that ammo just literally is never an issue in this game, as long as you have it set to 3x. You'll always have more ammo than you will ever need at any given time. I'd say the only part where that isn't the case is at the very beginning when you have very little resources. But yeah, like, the ammo just piles up and gets to ridiculous proportions. You'll see by the end of the run I have like well over 1,000 handgun bullets, even though I'm like going crazy shooting everything. So yeah, it ends up getting really ridiculous, and it definitely helps out a lot with the 10-star run, obviously. But yeah. Also, as you can see in this hallway, I've been making use of the enemy respawns. Always check the ends of the hallways to see if there's new enemies, just for those extra fighting kills. Yeah, see, look, we already got 117 handgun bullets, and we're still in the apartments. Like, that's crazy. Here's the solution. Here's the answer for this puzzle, which, this is one of the puzzles that always has the same answer, like, depending on what difficulty you're playing. Wait, did I edit this shit out? Because I know I fucked up on this puzzle. I actually thought I was on extra, but it turns out I was on hard. Shit, was I supposed to edit this out? Nope, okay, never mind. There was a run where I fucked that up, and I thought I was on extra, but I was actually on hard, and both extra and hard have different answers. And I was like, what the fuck, what'd I do wrong? But yeah, so just be mindful if you're on extra riddle difficulty or not, because the answers are different. But yeah, we're almost at Pyramid Head. We're almost there! So with Pyramid Head, well, I guess I'll wait to talk about him until we get there. But yeah, holy shit, I've been talking literally nonstop for fucking 30 minutes now, which is great! And we still got like an hour and a half of footage here to cover, which is not great, because that means my voice is going to be shot by the end of this shit. We do have to come this way. Actually, I should talk about the fact that I'm using the 2D controls. That's why my movement is so clean. No, it's why it's so janky, actually, because whenever the camera angles change, I go in willy-nilly directions. And that's because I'm using the 2D, not only the 2D controls, but I also have my controls on inverted. And what that does, these are things in the extra options menu, as I was talking about earlier. The same menu where bullet adjustment is. When you have your controls on inverted, what that does is it makes it so that you're always running, and if you hold square, you'll start walking. Normally, by default, it's the other way around, but yeah, it's helpful. It makes it so that you waste less time. Pyramid Head always whiffs on his first attack here, so you literally don't even have to move. We emptied a clip of 10 bullets into him, and yeah, I mean, this fight's pretty fucking simple. Whenever he gets close enough to hit you, just run past him, and just keep going back and forth in the room. Now, something I wasn't aware of until someone in my chat pointed it out is the way this fight works. Obviously, Pyramid Head is invincible. You can't actually kill him. And whenever a bullet lands, you'll just hear it, like, ping off his head. That was close. I almost took a meaty hit there. You do not want to get hit by Pyramid Head, by the way. If Pyramid Head hits you, he does a fuck ton of damage, and that would be really bad for your run if you took a hit from him. But it's also very easy to avoid him, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. That attack is very dangerous. I think if he lands that vertical swing that he did, like he took forever to wind up, if that attack lands, I think it 100 to zeros you no matter what. But yeah, as you can see, Pyramid Head's running away. Now, you can't actually hear the audio of the game, but when you're in this room and you get Pyramid Head down to low enough health that he starts running away, that was bullshit, by the way. I walked too close to him and he went for another attack, so that was kind of a waste of time. But yeah, you'll hear this like loud siren alarm going off during the fight, and when the second you hear that siren kick in, that means you've lowered him enough health. So you want to give him a wide berth and let him like run his ass away, because as you can see, if you ever get, even if he's in the process of running away from you, if you get close enough to him, he will go for a hit. So you'll end up wasting time. As you can see, that's exactly what happened to me. But yeah, I actually didn't know that about the siren until someone in my chat pointed it out. It's a nice little indicator to know that the fight is finished. So yeah, but yeah, so we're done the apartments. That's all well and good. There's a med kit back here, pretty sweet. And there are some things that I do along the way to the hospital here. I don't just like bum rush to the hospital and go there immediately. I actually do a little bit of exploring, killing some extra enemies, racking up those fighting kills, just to make sure, you know, because that's the thing, and part of what makes getting the 150 kills overall, 75 fighting and 75 shooting, a little tricky, is because there's no way to track how many you have at any given time. You kind of just have to make a mental note and be like, okay, I'm pretty sure I've gotten the amount by now. And like I said, around the time where you finish the hospital, you should have the 75 fighting kills by then. And before you get to the Historical Society, you should have your 75 shoot kills. So that's kind of how you want to judge it. That's your guideline that you have to follow. There are some items, as you can see, to pick up around the park here that I am going out of my way to do, just to make sure we meet that 150. And they're not too out of the way, so that's good. We're about to meet Maria. And again, as I said, obviously if Maria dies, that's a game over, so you really want to make sure she doesn't take too much damage. It's not too hard. I mean, I've never had her die other than during the Pyramid Head chase, so it's pretty reasonable. It is within reason to expect it of the player. Mary? Mary, is that you? But anyways, yeah. But as I was saying, you will see me do some pretty questionable things during this part. I do take some time to go in directions that are not leading you to the hospital. And you'll see that as soon as I leave the park here. Oh, I forgot to say the fucking dog key. You also need the dog key for the fucking 10-star run. I forgot to mention that earlier when I was talking about the special items. The dog key is definitely something you need. And, actually, I didn't mention this, but when you're attempting your 10-star run, it's most optimal to go for the dog ending. So you definitely want to make sure you don't forget the key. The reason being is because if you go for the dog ending actually prematurely ends the game. And it allows you to skip the double Pyramid Head boss fight at the end, as well as the final boss herself. And obviously that's very beneficial if you want to stay under that 3-hour clear time. So yeah, it's highly recommended that you go for the dog ending during this run. But yeah, as you can see, we're actually running down the opposite end of Nathan Avenue right now, away from the bowling alley, which is where we need to be going, just to rack up a few extra kills. There's also some items along the way. I think the main reason I came this way was because at the end of this path and up a flight of stairs, there's going to be some shotgun shells, I believe. And I wanted them, but I swear I didn't even need them, because bullet adjustment gives you way more than you fucking need. But again, it's just to play it safe. Like, I only did it because, A, I want to make sure I get the 75 fighting kills, and B, I want to make sure I get the 150 plus items. So I was just playing it safe. And, you know, it just goes to show you that there is ample time. There's enough time to, like, deviate from the path a little bit just to get some extra shit. But I think this is the only real part of the game where I do that. Where I actually waste time gathering more items. Because I never do that again for the rest of the run. But yeah, we're just heading down here, getting some more kills. Thankful that most of them are mannequins and not these fuckers, because these enemies suck, as I said. Fucking hate them. Definitely my most hated enemy. And I can't even remember what they're called, the cheeky bloody fuckers. But yeah. So hurry up, Matt. Come on. Show the good folks at home where this ammo is, up this flight of stairs. Bada boom. They were just fucking handgun bullets. I went there for that. I thought they were shotgun bullets. Well, turns out I was wrong. Also, because I mentioned earlier that when you pause the game, it stops the in-game timer. Got some respawns here. That was pretty nice. Extra kills. Yeah, baby! But yeah, I was saying, when you pause the game, it stops the in-game timer, which is really nice. However, when you enter the item screen or the map, it does not stop the in-game timer. And I actually meant to mention that earlier, but again, this video has just been information fucking overload, and I've been talking for the rest of my life. And I forgot to mention it. But, I'm mentioning it now. Better late than never, baby! But yeah, so... Anyways, the reason why I bring that up is because... And here's the dog key coming up right here. This is just outside the park where we met Maria. If you're wondering how to find that. But yeah, the reason why I'm mentioning that is because you'll never once see me open the map throughout this run. And, oh, hey, look, we got our trophy for the dog key. That was my first time picking it up. You will never once see me open the map because as I said, the in-game timer doesn't stop when you do that. And instead, what I would do is I would, like, pause the game so that the in-game timer does stop, and I would literally Google image a map of Silent Hill, just so, and I had that open, like, on my computer as I was doing the run, so if I ever got lost or needed to remember a direction that I had to go. That was bullshit, by the way. Fucking motherfucker snuck up on Maria. You piece of shit! Put you down 6 feet under. Little bitch. Think you could touch Maria? Hell no! Only Pyramid Head can do that. But anyways, moving on. Here we are at the gas station. We're going to be looting yet another special item. What you're seeing right here is just pure frustration. Every time I walked up to try and pick up the pipe, the camera angle would change and then it would make me run like a different direction. But yeah, here we go. The Book of Lost Memories. That's that one right there. And there's some more cheeky items over here. Lots of items, as you can see. Even though it's on hard mode, and hard mode gives you less items than normal, there's still a fuck ton of items. Like, the items is the last thing you should be worrying about. But yes, they're not too far away from the beaded path, so we're taking the time to pick them up, because it's not too out of the way. But yeah, and you'll see me also here. We're yet again not going to go straight to the bowling alley. Instead, we're going to run all the way down Nathan Avenue towards the Historical Society. Why, you ask? Because more fighting kills and shotgun ammo. And I'm pretty sure the reason why I thought the handgun bullets that we got earlier on those flight of stairs was shotgun bullets is because I was confusing them with these shotgun bullets that are definitely at the end of Nathan Avenue, and I am 100% not misremembering that. So you'll notice the enemies just kind of fly into frame here, quite literally. And it's easily the goofiest looking thing in this game. I still don't know why that's a thing. At first I thought it was unique to the HD collection. I thought it was just something stupid because the HD collection, as most of the Silent Hill fan base will tell you, is just notoriously garbage. It's just such a poor remake, or remaster rather, of the originals. The originals are just far better. If you're not a trophy hunter and you're looking to play this game just for fun, do not play, do yourself a favor, do not play the fucking HD collection. Play the originals. Although, I imagine you'd have to emulate them on your PC in order to even play them, because the physical copies are rare as shit. You could fetch a pretty penny for those if you do own them, though. Although, if you did own them, I don't know why you would ever sell them, because they're such valued games. Seriously, they go for a lot if you look online. But yeah, as I was saying, the enemies flying in look goofy as hell, and I thought that was unique to the HD collection. But nope, they do that on the PS2 version as well, which is fucking weird. And it's the only part of the game where you ever see that. It's bizarre. I don't know why they do that. Like, I remember, like, because when I was playing this game on my first run, I was pretty spooked. Because, you know, this is a freaky game, and I'd never played it before. And if you're playing your first playthrough of a horror game, chances are you're going to get spooked by the shit that you don't know is coming at you, right? So, are you fucking kidding me that I was wrong about that being shotgun bullets again? Alright, just, you know what? My guide is void. There's no point watching it. Just unsubscribe. Just leave the video right now. Click off. Go watch Gawdlikematt. What? You don't know who that is? Or what that is? YouTube it. You won't be disappointed. It's only the cutest cat ever. Anyways, moving on. I am low-key a Hosiko fan. But, yeah, anyways. What the hell were we even talking about? I was wrong about that being shotgun ammo. I was embarrassed. Boy, is my face red. But we're getting our fighting kills, and that's what matters. By the way, because this was something that genuinely was worrying me back when Maria took a hit from that fucking mannequin. The way Maria's health works is, like, her health will stay at whatever it is until you leave the room. So if you want her health to, like, reset to full, you'd have to enter a new room. So that's something to be mindful of. You don't want her to take too many hits, especially here out on the streets of Silent Hill, because, you know, that damage adds up, and then she could eventually fucking keel over and die. That's one dead Maria. Surprised I'm nailing her name in this video, because usually I always fuck up and call her Mary. But, man, I've been talking a lot. My voice, it's getting there. I'm reaching my limit. I might have to take a break soon, and then start re-recording. Again, moments like this are very nerve-wracking. As you can see, I'm respecting these enemies a lot. Because fighting two enemies at the same time, at any point in this game, during your 10-star run, is very frightful. And it's very dangerous. You risk taking a lot of damage. So just be very careful during the moments where you're fighting more than one dude. Anyways, as you can see, I expertly dispatched them. And now we're moving on. But, yeah. 10-star run. I'm losing it. I'm running out of shit to talk about. And this happens. If you've ever watched my fucking Resident Evil 2 hardcore under 3 hour S plus rank run, which I have a video of on my channel, that run near killed me as well, because I was just talking for like 2 hours straight. I don't know how I do it. Like, some people, can you imagine that there's some people, well, you don't have to imagine because they exist, but there's streamers out there, and I know because I love watching my favorite streamers, and I've watched my fair share of streams. There are fucking streams I click on sometimes where the fucking guy is just dead silent. He's not saying a word, and he's got like little to no viewers, and it's just like, bro, the fuck you doing? It's supposed to, well, maybe it's not supposed to be entertainment. I guess it depends on what you're streaming. Like, I find people won't really give a shit, and they'll watch you if, like, for example, if you're really good at a game. Like, if you're a professional speedrunner, or you're just someone who plays, like, for example, fighting games or FPSs, and you're, like, stupidly good at them to the point where you're, like, entering tournaments and shit, and you're, like, widely recognized as one of the best players in the world kind of thing, then, yeah, you don't really have to talk in a stream like that, because people will watch you for the sole fact that you're good at what you do. But if you're nobody, and you're starting from fucking scratch, and nobody knows you, your ass better be fucking entertaining, or you better be bringing something to the table. Because why the fuck would I stay on your stream if you're just dead fucking silent? Like, I don't get it. But that's just how some people are. Some people just stream dead silent and they don't give a fuck. I'm just like, what? Like, I can't bring myself to do that. Not only do I consider myself a natural entertainer, but, you know, I'm also, you know, I started YouTube back in 2014 and making videos. That was before I did my live streams. And, which I love to do. I mean, I love live streaming way more than making videos. But because the YouTube platform, the algorithm, prefers videos over live streams, I gotta make videos. It's the only way. But hence why I'm making this video. And I hope you guys are liking this video. And you know what? Let's throw this out there. If you guys are enjoying this video, then go ahead and hit that, smash that like button. I'm gonna say that like those cringy YouTubers. Did I do it right? Hit subscribe, just smash it, and fucking smash that notification bell. Am I all right? I'm beating the dead horse. It's too much. Matt, you need to know when to stop. All right, everything in moderation. But yeah, like, subscribe, notification bell. Do it if you like it, or don't if you don't. Or hit dislike. You think this runs shit? Fucking dislike this video right now, motherfucker, and I guarantee that was bullshit. I was very upset about what happened just there, because that was a classic moment. And you definitely want to be mindful of this room when you come in, because as you can see, that nurse is right fucking beside you and gets a cheeky hit right out the gate if you don't punish her in time. But yeah, I was very mad when that happened. And there's a lot of rooms in the hospital that are like that. So, and this is one of them. So just be mindful when you get to this room that nurse is right fucking there. And don't let her hit you like she did me. Don't be me. I needed to segue off of whatever I was saying to talk about that nurse and how bullshit she is. But I forgot what I was talking about prior to that. Oh yeah, I think I was just talking about being entertaining. And yeah, like, you know, I come from back when I used to make YouTube videos, like way back when I started out. You know, my mindset was always make sure the video's entertaining the whole way through. Don't have any, like, stale, stagnant moments where you have nothing to talk about. That's unacceptable as a content creator, in my mind. Like, I hold myself to a certain standard, but obviously not everyone's like that. That's just how I think you should be, and that's what I was taught, like, before I started making content. And I always tried to apply it to all my videos. I'm not proud of all my videos that I've ever made, but I do go out of my way to make sure that they are watchable, even years after the fact. Like, and that's important. Some people don't think about that. Like, you gotta remember that, hey, like, it's not always the initial views. Like, some people watch your videos way after the fucking fact, like years later. And you want to make sure your videos hold up and that they age like a fine wine. And people will discover you and be like, wow, this video was really good. And you know what? If anyone's watching this video, like, well after the fucking fact, you're fucking welcome for it being so entertaining and making you laugh. I checked that note because that's the only way to get the password. I believe that password's for the box with the hair in it, or maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering. Or maybe that password's for the door on the 3rd floor. I can't remember. It's been a while, alright? I overloaded, jam-packed my head with information on this game back when I was doing this run. But now I just forgot. Like, my brain only holds the important stuff. The stuff I need to remember on the daily. This, not one of them. But, oh my god, was this room stressful. Oh, and as you can see, that is a room you do not want to enter. I went into that room and left it as fast as I entered it. Oh, we got a nice respawn here. Good shit. So that's an extra fighting kill. But yeah, there are, I think 2 or 3 rooms like that in the hospital where as soon as you get in, there's literally 2 fucking nurses coming at you at the same time. Those rooms, like, just don't go in them. Just completely fucking avoid them. Whatever's in them is not worth getting. because the risk is way too great. Like I said several times throughout this video, fighting 2 enemies at the same time, especially when they're that fucking close to you. Like, those rooms are small and cramped. Like, the enemies are... They only need to take 2-3 steps to get to you. It's way too dangerous. It's just not worth the risk. So that's why when I went in there, I wasn't sure what room that was, and I didn't remember that was the room with the 2 nurses. So as soon as I went in, I was like, oh shit! And I fucking backed out right away. But also remember that whenever you exit the item screen or come through a door, when the game's fading to black and then fades back in, you can still move around, even when you can't see James. So just fucking turn your ass around and start mashing X. Like, even if you can't see James, you will get out of the room. So just be mindful of that. It's very important to keep that in mind, that that's a thing throughout this entire run, because, like I said, it can fuck you over. It can also help you if you use it to your advantage. Well, actually, I'm talking about that as if it's a good thing. There are no good qualities about it, but what I'm saying is, it's how to deal with a shit hand that you were dealt. That's, you know what I'm saying? It's a shitty mechanic. It sucks. I hate it. But that's how you, like, work with it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Hey, shotgun shells. Yeah, we came here because... Wait, we didn't even need to come here. What I just wrote, or read... What the hell am I saying? Jesus. This video's doing me in, guys. I'm not gonna make it. We're not gonna make it to the end! But, yeah, that thing I read on the bulletin board, that gives you the answer for the passcode on the 3rd floor door. But I believe it's always the same on hard mode, so you don't even have to go read it. I think the only reason I went down there was to get the shotgun shells. But, yeah. So the answer, if you don't want to go down there, you don't have to. I believe when I finish this run, there's another bullshit room, as you can see. Nurse literally winding up and swinging as you're loading into the room. Like, it's bullshit. It's absolutely fucking bullshit, and my ass was ready for it. I killed that nurse like a fucking G! I didn't know what else to say. James is a G? Or Jams? J. He's a J, not a G. Anyways, moving on. But yeah, so this is the 3rd floor, and the passcode's always the same. I think it's 1328 off the top of my head. I'm gonna be impressed if I remembered that correctly. Let's see! What's the password, Matt? Show us the good stuff. 1328. Hey, I was right. Let's go. But yeah, that's one of the puzzles that's always the same and it doesn't change. And, you know, that's another thing, which I probably should have said earlier in the video. But, you'll want to have all the puzzle answers that don't change written down, just so that you can immediately pause the game and quickly refer to them, so you're not, like, dicking around, wasting too much time trying to solve it. But there are some puzzles where you can't do that, because the answer always changes. And there are a couple really annoying moments. And don't worry, we'll get to them. We'll see them. They're coming up at some point. Also, there are things in this run that I would have done differently in retrospect. In hindsight, if I could redo it, oh, God help me, I would never do another 10-star run. Ever! Fuck that! This run sucks. And I hated it. This was one of the most stressful things I ever did. Like, whenever you see me pause the fucking game, most of the time it's so that I can, like, plan my next move, but half the time it was just because the anxiety and stress levels just got to the boiling point, and I was just like, no! And I needed to, like, take a breath. That happened a lot in this run. But yeah, you know. Oh my god, and I'm also... So I'm playing this game through PlayStation Now, which is a streaming service that allows you to play older games, or aka PS3 games, that are not backwards compatible with PS4, because fuck Sony! But anyways, thank God PS5 is backwards compatible. Anyways. So yeah, that's the only way I can really play this game, and through PlayStation Now. And PlayStation Now, like, I love it, it's great, because it allows you to play those old games, which is nice, and you can actually get trophies from them, which is great as well. But what I fucking hate about PlayStation Now is, one, whenever you... Oh my god, that's bullshit! You see what I'm talking about, right? I'm looking at this after the fact, and it's still making me mad. That's the most bullshit shit ever. Shit. Feces. Excrement. Yeah. And that's exactly what that was. But, yeah, you see what I mean? Like, fucking memorize these rooms, guys. If you're watching, commit these fucking rooms to memory and make sure these bullshit nurse spawns don't get away with this crap. This crapola. And, you know what? I'm going to talk about this now. Quick reminder. When you get to this part on the roof, I know I already mentioned it, but I'm going to mention it again. When Pyramid Head knocks your ass off the roof here, the damage you take is scripted, meaning it did not count towards the 500 that you are allowed to take. So you could just go ahead and quickly full heal yourself like I just did, put yourself back to full, which I would recommend to keep good track of like where you're at, and, you know, move the fuck along. Like, everything's okay, alright? Don't fucking panic. Jesus! You gotta keep level-headed during your 10-star run. It's important. Now, what the hell was I talking about earlier? I literally fucking forgot. Let me pause the recording while I remember. Yeah, so what I was saying about with what I hate about PlayStation Now is that I just hate that every time you want to reset the game, like, there's no, like, soft reset. Like, kind of like with old games where most of the time it was hit all the shoulder buttons, start and select at the same time. That was usually the soft reset for older games, like back on PS2 and shit. And even on Nintendo games, some of the Nintendo games had that. Like, I know the Fire Emblem handheld games, like Awakening and Fates, I know they had a soft reset that used that method. Which was really fucking convenient, because, you know, when you're trapped in a long-ass map at Fire Emblem, some maps take like an hour to clear, not even joking, or like 45 minutes or something like that. Sometimes when you fuck up, a soft reset is really appreciated. You know, you reset and you get back in real fucking quick, like lightning fast. And it'd be really nice to have the option to do that in this game as well, especially during the 10-star run, where mainly during the boat section, because I found myself fucking up the boat segment like fucking, I don't know, probably maybe not 100 times, but I fucked it up so many times, and I would have really appreciated a soft reset. But every time I fucked it up, I had to close not only the game but PlayStation Now. And to reboot PlayStation Now, it takes a fucking eternity, man. Like, that, you're waiting for that shit to reboot up for like the rest of your life, and it sucks. It's just pain and fucking suffering. It's awful, and it really contributes to like the frustration. Like, not only is the boat part so fucking infuriating with the absolutely ass controls and how demanding it is for you to be really good at it, but every time you want another crack at it, not only do you gotta reboot fucking PlayStation Now, which takes all fucking eternity, but you also gotta fight Eddie again. And because I saved before Abstract Daddy, I gotta fight him again every single time. I don't really mind that. And the thing is, as I was saying earlier, you know, everyone and their mothers who's played the 10-star run will tell you, save before Eddie, not Abstract Daddy. But in my run, you're gonna see me save before Abstract Daddy, which is the boss who, when you're right after the Historical Society and you're in the underground prison, there's a boss and you hear Angela go, "No, Daddy, please!" And you have to go in there and kill the boss. Yeah, his name's Abstract Daddy, in case you didn't know that. And with that boss, he's super fucking easy. He's fucking... You can kill that boss in literally a few seconds if you have the Great Knife. Which is why in this run that we go for the Great Knife. If you try to do the 10-star run without using the Great Knife on Abstract Daddy, you're just causing yourself way more difficulty and turmoil than is actually necessary, because the Great Knife is that boss's kryptonite. Like, it's so good on him that the boss fight itself is like brain dead easy, and you're gonna see me do it. But the reason why I saved before Abstract Daddy instead of Eddie is because I had no practice on Abstract Daddy. And the thing is, I was so fucking paranoid that if I had died, I would get sent back to the Pyramid Head chase. And if that happened, I would have had to get the 75 shoot kills again, which took, oh my god, like the 75 shoot kills on the streets of Silent Hill took like over like 45 minutes or so, and that was brutal. Like, if you have to redo that, that's just like AIDS. It's pain and fucking suffering, and it's nothing that you would ever want to have to redo. So that is why I justified saving before Abstract Daddy, because I was so nervous about fucking it up. And sure enough, when I got to Abstract Daddy, I fought him on my first attempt and died. So, yeah, I was absolutely 100% right to save before him, because he ended up killing me, and I would have to redo so much fucking work. But if you don't do what I did and actually practice fighting Abstract Daddy and doing it perfectly, like the optimal run with the Great Knife, you would be so confident that you wouldn't even have to fucking, you know, you wouldn't have to save before Abstract Daddy. You could wait until Eddie. But I was not confident at all. I hadn't practiced the fight whatsoever. So yeah, it was just so nerve-wracking for me, and I ended up saving where I did. And I don't regret it, because it's only a few extra minutes of content before you have to fight Eddie. Like, Abstract Daddy and Eddie are practically back-to-back, so I didn't really think that it was a bad idea. My whole justification on it was that I want to avoid any and all risk whatsoever, no matter how confident I am. I just don't want the possibility of me dying and having to redo 45 minutes of shoot-kill grinding. And that was it. Like, to me, it was like, yeah, on that basis alone, fuck you, that's what I'm doing. And by that mindset, it's like, yeah, I didn't do anything wrong. But, yeah, my run could have been a little more optimal if I had have actually took the time to practice the fight. But, oh well. I rushed it because I want to get this platinum, like, as soon as possible. And that's what ended up happening. By the way, you just saw me fight Flesh Lips. And that fight was, holy fuck. My heart was jumping out of my throat. Like, I was fucking losing it. I thought I was going to shit the bed on that fight. I was so scared about taking even one hit. I was so fucking nervous. But here we are in the alternate hospital. And I don't even remember where the fuck we're supposed to go here. Like, as you can see, immediately we enter a room with two nurses. And yeah, we don't want any of that. We have over 300 handgun bullets, which is great. But we used a shit ton of shotgun shells just now on Flesh Lips. So we only have like 40-something. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought I was actually going to turn around and leave this room, but I end up... Wow, I did this so well. Holy shit. I fucking played this like a G! I did this so fucking good. Damn, well played, man. Holy shit. That makes me hype. Watching my playback back and being like, oh my god, I didn't know you were that good at this game. God damn, that's fucking amazing. Yeah, look at that. Coming to another room, find another nurse. Unless it's two nurses, you can fucking get your ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? But there we go. That's that. And on with the run. Honestly, again, I've been talking... Well, I took a long break. I'm not gonna lie. At about an hour into this video, I did an hour's worth of commentary back to back without fucking stopping or taking a breath. But it's been a while. We're now 10 minutes into a new recording. I played some Apex Legends with my buddy Dan for several hours. And now we're back, where I'm making more commentary for this video, which I need to finish because I want to upload this video very much so that you guys can check out my run, see it for yourselves, and use it to apply to your own runs and help you guys out. That is my goal with this video, and I truly hope that this video does help you guys with your runs, because as you can see, this run is absolutely no fucking joke. It is rough. 10 stars. I've said this in the past. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Like, if you're someone who has it in your head to be like, oh, you know what? Silent Hill 2 really interests me. I kind of want the platinum for it. I should go for it. And you don't know, like, what risks you're about to take, what you're about to jump into. You're in over your head. You're like, oh, I just want the platinum, but you don't actually know, like, what's required. Yeah, I would just say to those people, no, don't fucking do it. You're insane. Don't platinum this game, because my god, it is by no means beginner friendly or understanding or easy to a beginner or someone new coming at it. Like, I wouldn't wish this run on anyone. It's too awful. It's just too awful. And don't go for this platinum. If you're considering it, play something else. Go platinum another game. It's not worth it. It really isn't. And that is my professional recommendation to you, personally. Do it. Man, this whole video endeavor here is starting to become quite the little project. And by little, I mean huge. Because this is going to be one of my longest videos I've ever uploaded, for one. Over 2 hours long. And a lot of work and effort went into this. My goodness! But, you know, that being said, I truly hope that you guys are finding this video helpful, or you're making a lot of use out of it to help you guys with your runs, which you are insane for doing, as we, already, can't think of the word, as we've already confirmed. That's not the word I wanted to use, but it'll do. Wait, what the fuck? Hello? Okay, that was weird. My fucking playback just randomly decided to pause for no reason. Cool. Very nice. Yeah, we're almost done the hospital. We're very close. Almost there. And, I find the alternate nurses, because you'll notice the nurses, like this one I'm fighting here. Or wait, is that a regular nurse? No, I think that's a regular nurse. Yeah, there's like two different types of nurses. One is like slightly darker than the other. And I find it's when you first get to the alternate version of the hospital. Yeah, that one in the back there is like a darker color scheme, I think. Yeah, like, call me crazy. No, they're definitely different. I find the darker ones are harder to kill, take more shots, and actually that kind of reminds me, why the fuck does this keep stopping? Alright, I apologize, guys, for the technical difficulties I seem to be undergoing here, but my playback just keeps pausing for literally no reason, and it's starting to really get on my nerves. If it happens again, I'm gonna fucking just reboot the whole program. But fingers crossed that doesn't happen. It's probably gonna happen. If I'm being realistic here, it's probably gonna fucking happen, because it keeps doing it. And I don't know why. There's no explanation. Technology! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a big fan, and by that, totally fucking sarcasm is what I meant. I fucking hate technology. I mean, I like technology because it's great. I mean, who doesn't? But when it just doesn't work for inexplicable reasons, and, you know, because we simple folk are just not, we can't fathom what's actually required to, like, fix technical issues, so we need to hire some asshole who is qualified to handle such 5-head maneuvers. Yeah, because we're just, our brains are built different, right? And yeah, we're just not like you know what would be the way to go if you had like a tech repair guy who like fixes your computer for you and shit. If you like became best fucking friends with him, like jerked him off, or maybe like treated him to dinner or something, and you know, at least hit first base with him, then maybe he'd be more inclined to like share his secrets. Like, I imagine that would be the perfect fucking inside job, to be like, hey, you know, I know you're my tech repair guy, but you mind filling me in on the tricks of the trade so that when my computer inevitably breaks down again, that I'll be able to fix it myself and I won't have to pay you, motherfucker? And he'll be like, yeah, you did such a good job, get it? Pun intended. Job, get it? I don't know if anyone got that. Maybe not. Moving on. That was a random little tidbit, but we're back with Maria. And what I was trying to say before the fucking playback paused on me was, it kind of reminds me of Dead Space. I don't know if you guys have ever played that. Great fucking game. Super excited for the remake coming out next year. I don't think there's an actual release date for it, but I think they just said it's 2022. But yeah, I'm super excited for the Dead Space remake, because those are some of my favorite games. And when that game drops, I am going to be playing nothing but that, and I'm most definitely probably going to make guides on it and shit, and go the whole 9 yards for that game, because I was a huge fan of the original. And I'm super excited for the remake. But yeah, it reminded me, the whole nurse debacle reminded me of Dead Space. Actually, I'm going to get back to that in a minute, but so when we went in the elevator with Maria, you listened to the game show talk host guy who has like the random trivia questions. Boom, there's the solution to the puzzle. And when you open the chest, you get a fuck million ton of ammo, and it's definitely worth opening that. Also, unlike some of the other puzzles in the game, the solution to that puzzle is always the same. So you don't have to worry about fucking it up, like it's always the same answer. So yeah, just, you know, do it. And it's not that out of the way, you get a shit ton of fucking resources for it, it's definitely worth. But here we are, a great weight has now been lifted off our shoulders. We have made our first save of the game. So there we go. Now, all that's left to do is press on. Continue forward. But yeah, the reason why I was making the relation to Dead Space was how there's two different types of nurses, but one's just a different color scheme and is just harder to kill. That's like in Dead Space when you're killing slashers the whole game, but then you start running into the black slashers, like as you get further into the game, and they're the exact same enemy, but just a different color scheme and way fucking tougher. Anyways, here we go. The Maria fucking Pyramid Head chase. So this, as I was saying a little bit earlier, this part can go completely, it's completely RNG. Like, as you can see, Maria hasn't even been hit yet. She got hit once right there as she was turning the corner at the end of the hall. But I find the way to tell if you've done a successful run or not is if Maria gets to like the chain link fence area where you have to like run around it. If you hear her take a hit just before she gets to it, then that means it's a rip run and she's gonna die, like guaranteed. But if she doesn't take a hit that whole way, then you know it's a successful run. So that's kind of how you could tell. But yeah, and it's completely random. You can do that part over and over and over and over, and sometimes Maria will live and sometimes she won't. It's like 50-50. So, you know, you can fucking shoot Pyramid Head to give Maria more, give her an opportunity to create more distance from him. But it's like, yeah, you could do that, but I'd rather just keep loading until I get lucky. Like, what's the point in fucking busting my hump to do that? But anyways, here we go. So now we're on the streets of Silent Hill. And as what I was saying before, by now you should have your 75 fighting kills. And as you can see, what we're doing here is now we're going for our shoot kills. So what I like to do for this part is I shoot an enemy with the handgun until they drop, and then I run up to the enemy, switch to my shotgun, and pow, right in the fucking face. And 1 or 2 shots usually does it. It's really unlucky if you have to do 3 shots, but it can happen. The enemies in this game are actually kind of reminds me of Resident Evil. In Resident Evil Remake, I don't know if you guys ever played that game, but in Resident Evil Remake, when you're shooting a zombie with your handgun, sometimes a zombie could go down in like 5-6 bullets, maybe 7, and as opposed to you'll find a completely different zombie in a completely different room, and that zombie will take like 15 shots, and it's completely fucking random. That was really scary and dangerous. These 2 nurses are right fucking next to each other. Very spookums. But because we're going for the shoot kills, it's a little easier. Like, if I were trying to run up and finish them with a fighting kill hit, you'd be putting yourself at risk. Because you'd be giving the second enemy an opportunity to hit you. But since we're going for the shoot kills, I could just keep my distance and fucking blow them away. It's pretty great. This footage is incredibly sped up because there are a fuck ton of enemies. I mean, as you would know, because we could get the 75 shoot kills right now, which is what I'm trying to do. Every time I hear my radio going fucking ape, then I look around and try to spot an enemy, and then just fucking kill them. Like, I'm literally just hunting down enemies at this point. It's also really beneficial to have a map of Silent Hill open up on your computer, like I was saying earlier, for this part, because you never want to open the map here and waste time. And it's very easy to get lost or lose track of where you are at this part, so that's why it's very beneficial to be looking at a map. But yeah, we're racking up our shoot kills, and yeah, it takes like, I think this took me like over 45 minutes, which is why the footage is incredibly sped up, because there's no fucking way I was gonna talk for all that time just running around fucking shooting enemies. Like, that would have been awful. That would have been horrible, and I wouldn't have liked it. But here we are now, cut to now, where here we are, and this is what we're doing. Now, another thing that I'd like to point out, which was really great, but you may not be able to pull it off, is, like, see, when I did, see, the 10-star run itself would be your 6th playthrough, if you've been doing all your playthroughs optimally and you got all the endings correctly, and you didn't fuck up and have to do an extra playthrough, then it should minimum take you 6 playthroughs to platinum. As you can see, we went in the trailer there and grabbed the hyper spray. You might not have noticed that because the footage was so sped up, but yeah, we ran in there to grab the hyper spray, which, don't forget, you need to do in order to get the 10 stars. So yeah, that's what I was saying earlier in the beginning of the video, where after the hospital you have to come that way, so that's perfect opportunity to loot the hyper spray, so that's what we did. Anyways, that was a quick reminder, just don't forget to pick it up. But, yeah, what the hell was I talking about before that? I literally forgot. Oh yeah, now I remember. So, as I was saying, yeah, this would be your 6th playthrough, by this point. And, again, assuming you didn't fuck anything up. And on all of my playthroughs, I never bothered to get 75 shoot kills, because it's just so much easier. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. I'll finish what I'm saying, though, first. It's so much easier to get fighting kills in this game, which is mostly how you would play throughout all your runs. You know, the typical shoot them with the handgun until they go down, run up and kick them. That's how you fight almost every enemy in the game. So, in all of my playthroughs, prior to this moment, I never once got 75 shoot kills, because I just didn't see a point. It seemed pointless to do that prior to the 10-star run. Because it's just so much easier, like I said, to run up and kick them. So, anyways, why am I talking about this? Why am I bringing this up? Because it meant that I didn't have the trophy for getting the 75 shoot kills yet. Why is this important? Well, it actually serves as a really great indicator letting you know, hey, you got the 75 shoot kills, now you can fucking move along. Because otherwise, there's no way to track how many shoot kills that you have. But when the trophy pops, that is literal visual confirmation that, hey, you did it, asshole, now you can fucking move on with your life. And that's what ends up happening by the end of this, when I finish getting all the shoot kills in the streets of Silent Hill. I fucking have the trophy pop, and then it's like, alright, let's go! And then I, you know, proceed with the run. It's just a really great indicator. So, if you haven't gotten the 75 shoot kills either, it's very helpful to have that happen. But, you know, for all I know, you've already done the trophy, and you won't be able to make use of that. But, I mean, again, it's not the end of the world, if that's the case. It's, because there's more than enough enemies on the streets of Silent Hill. There's more than 75 that you can shoot. So, as long as you go out of your way to hunt down every enemy you see, speaking of which, I want to talk a little bit about that. Because if you look at the map of Silent Hill 2, for the streets specifically, I literally go everywhere. And if you can't tell that from the footage because it's too fast, this is me letting you know that I literally go in every single direction that is available to you. So, like, even all the dead-end streets, I go down all of them, because there are enemies in literally every direction. And sometimes, even when you, like, turn around and you're coming back down a street you just walked down, you'll have enemies that fucking respawn. So, yeah, there is way more than enough enemies here to get the 75 successfully. Definitely, that's true. How long have I been talking? Okay, I just wanted to make sure my recording wasn't too long. I find if you record for too long, the footage just, like, corrupts or some shit, and it just doesn't fucking work. Computers, am I right? You know, going back to what I was saying about technology. Yeah, it's fun. Being a video editor, fucking love it. It's one of my favorite things I've ever done. And if you can't tell I'm being sarcastic, you better fucking tell, because I fucking hate it. I would much rather live stream than make videos, but sadly, live streams are nowhere near as successful on YouTube. Unless, I don't know, you're a big popular content creator, then maybe you can make it work. I'm not, but I'm trying to be. Speaking of which, you know, I'm gonna fucking give my live streams a shout out. I live stream, or at least I try to as often as I can. I haven't been live streaming a lot lately because I've been working so hard on videos like this. To, you know, try and make the YouTube algorithm work for me. But live streaming is something I love to do, and I used to do it 4 days a week. My schedule is a little all over the place right now, but I am just throwing it out there that I do still live stream whenever I can. And if you guys ever, you know, happen to notice, feel free to stop by, come out and chill with me and the fam. I have a nice little tight-knit community, a great bunch of people, and it'd be awesome to, Jesus, I can't talk. It'd be awesome to add to that nice little community. But yeah, so I just wanted to throw that out there, but, you know, if not, don't worry about it, to each their own. Anyways, moving on, something I should have brought up probably sooner, but I'm going to talk about it now, is, the mannequins in the streets can be a little tricky. So the thing about the mannequins is that your radio doesn't go off until you've aggroed them. And if you don't know what aggro means, it means an enemy becomes aware of your presence and then starts coming at you to try and kill you. That's what we call aggro in gaming terminology. But yeah, your radio doesn't make any sound until they've aggroed, which can be tricky. So that's why you gotta always be, like, aware of your surroundings and looking around you all the time. Because if you could very well run past a mannequin completely not having known that he was even there, if you didn't aggro him, and then that you miss a potential shoot kill. So just be aware, you know, keep your eyes peeled for them mannequins, because they be sneaky. But we're actually zooming right through this, which is pretty fucking nice. Me choosing to speed up the footage, definitely the way to go. Very good call on my part, because this shit took fucking forever. So thankfully, we're almost done. We're in the final stretch now, the final part of the streets before we end up at the Historical Society. And not many more kills needed now, but we're almost there, bitch. But yeah, as you can see, I haven't even fucking put a dent in my... Well, actually, that's not true. I have put a dent in my ammo. I started I think my shotgun shells by the end of this part are like below 100, which, you know, because I'm using a lot of shotgun shells here. I still have a fuck ton of handgun ammo. I think it doesn't even break under 1,000, or maybe it does. I don't remember, but I do remember having a fuck ton of handgun ammo by the end of this. But I was running kind of low on shotgun ammo because I'm using it to finish off a lot of the enemies here. But not to worry, even though you're using a lot of ammo at this part, the bullet adjustment makes it very, very doable, very reasonable. And even by the end of this, like, once you have your 75 shoot kills, and you should already have your 75 fight kills by now, that's it. Like, enemies literally don't even matter anymore. Unless they're like, well, some enemies still matter. Like, some enemies at certain parts of the game up ahead are just so in your way that you kind of have to take them out, because you don't want to just take free damage. But more or less, for the most part, you'll be actively avoiding enemies for the rest of the run. Again, for the most part. There will still be some that you really need to kill. And there are definitely some things I did in this run that I wish I had have done differently. And I'll definitely be pointing those things out and recommending them to you guys when I get to those parts. But yeah, we got our key from the park. And now we're on Nathan Avenue now, and now I think it's just a straight shot to the end, and then we'll be done this segment. We'll have our 75 shoot kills very, very shortly. Thank God for that. Jesus Christ. But, hey. And that's why, this exactly is why I decide to save before Abstract Daddy, which, again, most people wouldn't recommend. Most people would say save before Eddie. And those people aren't wrong. And I was talking about this a little bit earlier. Like, I do agree with that. But I was so you gotta understand, I was so terrified that if something went wrong, God forbid, like my fucking power went out, or PlayStation Now randomly decided to close my game, which happened, by the way. Oh, and here we go. So the footage is back to normal. It's no longer sped up. And 3, 2, oh, there it is. I was a little early. I mean, yeah. No, late? Yeah, I was a little late. But there we go. So that's the trophy pop, and that was the perfect indicator letting me know, hey, Matt, you got the 75 kills. Now you can move on with your life. And as you can see, I am definitely taking that very seriously and just immediately running past all these enemies. Look how slow James is running because of the fucking frame rate issues in this game. You will randomly start moving slower. Like, it'll look like you're running in slow-mo, or like you're running on fucking zero gravity on the moon. Because the frame rate drops just fucking do that. And I imagine that would make this game very unpleasant to speedrun. Like, specifically the HD collection, I mean. Because I don't imagine that there's frame rate issues like that in the PS2 version, which is definitely the preferred version to play. The HD collection fucking sucks. But when it's your only way to play it, and my sole purpose of playing this was not only to enjoy it for the first time, but also to platinum it, because I'm a trophy hunter, then yeah, sadly you gotta play this version. But, yeah. Anyways, what the hell was I saying earlier? I was talking about, I segued off because the trophy popped, and I wanted to talk about that. But what was I talking about earlier? Fuck, I remember it was, like, semi-important. I'm gonna pause the video and see. Yes, so I was talking about why I saved before Abstract Daddy, and also a mini side story of when PlayStation Now randomly decided to close my game. And when it happened, I think it happened on like my 3rd or 4th run, and I was live streaming it, and it was really random. Like, I was literally like in the middle of my playthrough, and PlayStation Now just all of a sudden comes up with this notification in the corner of my screen saying, PlayStation Now will now close due to inactivity or some shit. Like, it said something really stupid that didn't make sense. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? And I wasn't inactive, by the way. I was literally in the middle of playing. I think I was right at the part where you get Maria at the park, just before the hospital. And yeah, my PlayStation Now randomly decided to close, and I wasn't near a save point, so when it did close, I had to fucking get back to where I was. And it was complete bullshit. Like, the second it happened, people in chat were talking about it immediately. And they were saying how, oh yeah, sometimes PlayStation Now is fucking dumb like that. And that just randomly happens sometimes. I got so unlucky here and very angry, by the way. Normally, when I get to this part, I know exactly where the wall is I need to click on. But randomly at this, on my fucking 10-star run, when it mattered the most, I somehow lost track of where the wall was, and this is me frustratingly trying to figure out where it was. I'm not kidding you. On the previous 5 playthroughs I did, I literally nailed it. Like, the second this part started, I'd turn around, run immediately right up to the wall that you need to face, and I bullseyed it every time. And this time, I fucked it up. But yeah, if you're ever wondering how to do this part, there is a wall you can click on here, and it'll tell you that it's like there's something off or weird about it, and that you could break it. So you just have to keep clicking on the walls until James says something unique. Yeah, as you can see, he just keeps saying it's just a wall. But when you click on the one that you can break, he'll say something different. But yeah, I don't know how I got so fucking turned around here. It was very, very frustrating, and I was super annoyed that out of all my runs where I bullseyed it every time, sure enough, the 10-star run, which is the run that matters the most, I ended up wasting this much time here, which was fucking so infuriating. There we go, finally found it. You could see the frustration in my face cam. I was very upset about that because it was so pointless. Like, that did not need to happen at all. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's an enemy, like, literally right next to me. Yeah, there is. So you want to be aware of that when you fucking come down here. But, yeah, so, yeah, and I was saying how PlayStation Now can sometimes randomly just fucking close. Oh, this part was actually pretty scary because there's, like, I think 3 enemies here. And I got really worried. I didn't want to take any damage from them, and I was too scared to try and run past them. So I just kind of set up a firing line here, and I just kept fucking unloading shotgun shells into them, hoping that I would take them out. But for some reason, they had a crap ton of health. Like, as you can see, I'm putting quite a few shells into these guys, and they are just not going down, or rather, they're not staying down. And I was very scared here. I was like, what the fuck? I'm not going to chance trying to run past them and end up taking, like, 2-3 hits from it. Hell no. I'm going to make sure that they go down and that I can get by. So, yeah, but this part was scary as fuck, and I was very frustrated here. Especially after what just happened with, me trying to find the breakable wall. And then you got this shit. But there we go, I ended up chancing it and getting by. That was still pretty dangerous. Like, I could have took a hit there. But I didn't. And this part coming up also sucks. When you come in this room, I'm so mad. Look at me in the face cam. I'm actually so upset. But yeah, this part also sucks, because as soon as you put the battery back in your flashlight, then it's a race against time to get the door open. You have to literally guess the keypad combination. Out of the 3 lit up numbers, this is one of the puzzles that's always random. The answer could be something different every time, but all you know is that it's a combination of those 3 buttons. But as you can see, I got very lucky and ended up getting it very fast, so I was very thankful about that. Because the longer you're trapped in that room, the more damage you take. Like, you cannot avoid taking damage in that room, which is partly what I was talking about earlier in the video. How there are parts of the game where damage seems unavoidable. That's definitely one of those parts. The longer you're stuck in that room, the more the bugs surrounding the room are just going to slowly deplete your health. And it's very, very stressful. But yeah, that's why you really want to make sure that you don't take too much damage prior to getting to Eddie. Eddie is, like, it's guaranteed that you're going to take a lot of damage from him, and there's literally nothing you can do about it. Like, sometimes you can have a good Eddie run, sometimes you can have a bad Eddie run, like a really bad one, where you end up getting hit, like, 17 million times. And, like, it's just like that, and because not only Eddie is such a wild card, but so is the boat segment, like, you may or may not get it, or you might have a lot of trouble getting it. you're going to end up redoing that fight over and over and over, and you're going to have good Eddie runs, you're going to have bad Eddie runs. So that's why it's really important to have taken the least amount of damage as possible prior to getting to that part. Because you don't want to be like, you've already taken like 400 damage before you even get to Eddie. Like, that would suck, because then there's very little room for error at that point. But yeah, I keep getting sidetracked here because I want to talk about what's happening on the screen. But I was talking about earlier that story I had to tell about PlayStation Now randomly closing on me, which sucked. And if God help you guys if that ever happens to you. You know how fucking angry I would have been if the game randomly decided to close PlayStation Now, and let's say I had just gotten the 75 shoot kills, and then PlayStation Now randomly closed before I could get to my next save. I would have been fucking furious. And that's the risk you run if you play this on PlayStation Now. Like, it would be better to actually own the physical disc of the HD collection and play it on your PS3. That is definitely the way I would recommend doing it. And the Silent Hill collection isn't very expensive. I only paid like $30 or so for it on Amazon. So, yeah. Although, I did play this on PlayStation Now, though. Like, I played it on both. I think I played I only played my first playthrough of this game on my PS3. And then out of laziness, because I didn't want to keep hooking up my PS3 in order to play it, and I found out it was on PlayStation Now, so I was just like, fuck it, I'd rather play it on my PS5 because it's easier. But, you know, you also run those risks, because PlayStation Now isn't very consistent, and sometimes it has a slew of issues. So, yeah, it's the risk you run, if, depending on where you want to play. I mean, I imagine some people don't even have the option to play on PS3, so their only option would be through PlayStation Now. And, to those people, my heart goes out to you. I truly hope that PlayStation Now doesn't fuck you guys over. I wish you all the best with that. But yeah, not only was there the fear of that happening, but also, like I was saying, like, God forbid the fucking power goes out in the middle of your run, or some freak accident happens. Maybe you're fighting an enemy and another enemy kind of creeps up on you, and all of a sudden you're fighting two at the same time. Maybe something absolutely horrible happens and you shit the bed and die or something, or maybe you take too much damage. And if that were to happen while you're in the middle of getting your 75 shoot kills, that'd be awful, because then you gotta spend 45 minutes plus again fucking getting those kills back. Like, it would be so awful. Like, I honestly, I couldn't feel more blessed about how well my run went. Like, it's by no means the perfect 10-star run, but for a guy who attempted it for the first time and had nothing terrible happen, like nothing awful went wrong, I couldn't be happier about that. Because I imagine a lot of people who have attempted this have had horrible things happen to them. So I felt blessed. I felt fortunate enough that the gods of Silent Hill smiled down upon me and allowed me to have the run that I did. Now, here is, right now, the room on my right here. Right on my right. Not the gate I just went through, but it was right on my right, just before I went through the gate. I didn't go in there. I decided to forego the rifle. The rifle is at the end of that room. When you go in that room, there's one enemy directly in front of you, and when you deal with that enemy and then go through the next room, then the rifle's in there, along with some ammo for your other guns and stuff. I would highly recommend picking up the rifle. I didn't, and that was my mistake. I thought about it just before I ran past that room, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to bother picking it up. I don't think I need it. And that was a big regret of mine throughout this run. So this is me making that clear to you right fucking now. If you are wondering the same thing and you're not sure if you should grab the rifle or not, fucking grab it. It's better to have it than to not have it. And there's one specific part of the game where I really fucking wish I had the rifle, and I was kicking myself for not picking it up. And I will point that out more in detail when I get to it. But yeah, definitely pick up the rifle. It is very worth it to get. It's not too out of the way. It's a great weapon that helps you deal with a really annoying enemy later in the game. And there's only one enemy fucking guarding it. Just one bog standard fucking enemy. Like, it's not that big a deal to just deal with him and go get the rifle. So that was definitely a big mistake on my part. And that's why I was saying earlier in the video that there are some things I wish I had done differently. That is definitely one of them. So yeah, don't make the same mistake as me. But here we are, now we're in this fucking area. I don't even remember what it's called. This area it can be really annoying and really frustrating because much like the hospital, there's a lot of rooms in this area where as soon as you enter the room, and the screen is still like fading in, there will be an enemy literally right next to you and he'll hit you. And that happens, like, that can happen like 3 or 4 times in this area. So yeah, you really want to make sure, like, pay attention in my footage for which rooms that happens in, and just be really mindful in your run, because it's super fucking annoying. But yeah, I'm dealing with all the enemies here, and you'll notice that I do opt to go for the great knife, which is completely optional. You don't have to go get the great knife. You don't even have to come this way. And it's important that you go through that specific ladder that I just took, because if you take the other one, you'll end up running smack into Pyramid Head along the path. So you want to take the one that I took, which allows you to run right past him as soon as you get down there. It's a little scary, because as soon as you climb down the ladder, he's literally right there. But there's more than enough time to just literally run past him, and he won't hit you. Like, as long as you keep moving and you don't stop, he won't hit you. Like, it looks intimidating, but it's not as dangerous as it looks. But yeah, so as you can see, we ran into that room quickly to get the great knife. And the great knife is a godsend. I would not recommend ignoring the great knife. If you're thinking about whether or not you should pick it up, definitely pick it up. Also, before I talk more about that, this room right here, I believe, there's an enemy as soon as you get in. Yep. Yeah, so I took a bullshit hit there, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, a lot of rooms in this area are like that. As soon as you get in, there's an enemy right fucking in front of you. So what you want to do in that scenario, the way I could have avoided taking damage there, was before I even let the screen fade in, start holding down the aim button. And don't worry about missing, because James auto-locks enemies. He'll just automatically aim at that guy, and then just start shooting before the screen even loads in. Just do it, because that enemy, I'm pretty sure that enemy's location is scripted, and he's always standing there. Now, this part sucks, because, unfortunately, on hard riddle difficulty, this puzzle's solution is always random on every playthrough, if you're on hard. Normally this puzzle has a set answer for easy and normal, but on hard, it's always different. So you literally have to fuck around with this stupid thing for however long it takes you to get the solution. And thankfully, it doesn't take me too long, but you can bet your ass I was stressing right now. Like, I was so worried about fucking taking too long on this part. But thankfully, it doesn't take me very long to get it. But yeah, this part fucking absolutely sucks, and it could be detrimental to your run for sure if you take too long trying to do it. I kept running into the room to try and figure out which way to spin the box. But it's so confusing, man. We almost got it. It's it's actually taking me a little longer than I remember, but we're almost there, maybe. I mean, I was thankful for how fast it went by for me. Even if this doesn't look fast, this probably actually seems slow to you guys. You're probably watching this thinking, oh my god, Matt, you're taking so long. But I was thankful, there we go, for as quick as I got it. Like, that could have been so much worse. I could have been there for another, like, I don't know, 5 minutes. Or maybe, like, a couple more minutes at least. That would have fucking sucked. But anyways, so that's that, and I just wanted to warn you guys about that one. It's totally stressful and sucks, because if you're bad at that puzzle, you're just going to have a hell of a time trying to guess the right answer. And a cheeky enemy respawned in here for me. So just be aware of that, even though we already came through here. But yeah, I was talking about the Great Knife earlier, and I was saying how if you're thinking about foregoing it, don't. The Great Knife is hella worth it to pick up. It makes the Abstract Daddy boss a literal fucking joke, and you're gonna see that when we get to him. But if you don't have the Great Knife when you get to that boss is a fucking nightmare to fight. So it's definitely worth it to get the Great Knife. The Great Knife allows you to kill him in like fucking 30 seconds, like no joke, and you won't take a hit either. I believe there's another enemy at the end of this ladder as well. This is another room right here where as soon as you get down, there's an enemy right in front of you. And I believe he hits me as well. Yeah, I couldn't even fucking see him. I wasn't sure how close he was because the camera angle there is a fucking bitch. But yeah, you can see this area is a motherfucker. Like, this area tries to do the player dirty, like, on purpose. And it's fucking really lame. But yeah, that's why it's important to memorize which rooms have those enemies. Yeah, see right here, I was so paranoid about it happening again that I literally just walked forward shooting. There wasn't even an enemy there, but I heard an enemy as soon as I came in here, and I assumed he was right in front of me again, because I assumed the game wanted to be an asshole. So I just unloaded into the wall. But hey, better safe than sorry, and it's not like we don't have the ammo either. Thanks to bullet adjustment, we're sitting on like a mountain of fucking ammo. So yeah, we're sitting pretty. We're doing... And even though it looks like I've taken a lot of damage, you'd be so surprised. By the time I finish this run, like, I wasn't even close to meeting the 500 mark of how much damage I took. Like, it's deceiving how little damage you take. There you go. There's another room where there's an enemy right the fuck in front of you. So that's what, 3 now? That's 3 different rooms where there was an enemy literally right in front of you. And, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure all those spawns are scripted too. Like, I think every one of those rooms where there was an enemy in front of you, I think they're always there, like, on every playthrough. Boom! There's room number 4! Where I, yet again, took another bullshit hit. So yeah, I was not exaggerating in the least. That's 4 different rooms where it happened. You really want to be mindful when you do this part. Doing this blind would fucking suck. So, be thankful that I'm giving you guys the heads up. That guy almost hit me. But he didn't. Fucking numbnuts. Alright, so we're actually very, very close to getting to Abstract Daddy. And at that point, that is... Look, another room where there's an enemy right in front of me. Holy fucking shit. And I actually chanced... I got so lucky there. So, that was incredibly dangerous what I just did. I could have took a hit there very easily. Thankfully, the enemy took mercy on me and decided to attack very late. And that thing also happened where I fucking... look at me, I'm terrified that there's going to be another enemy in front of me. But, yeah, that was another instance where I hit the enemy and, canceled his attack animation, so I didn't take damage. That was pretty sweet. But here we go, this is where we're making our second save. Again, most people would recommend you do it before Eddie, and I would too if you've had practice on Abstract Daddy before, but if you don't have any practice on him, then it's better to save here, in my opinion, in case you're fearful of something going terribly wrong. But yeah, so here we go. As soon as the fight starts, you're going to want to run to the top right corner there and equip the Great Knife. Now, this initial attack has to be perfect. You have to perfectly time that first attack, and then once you land it, you just keep spamming the attack button, and he'll be trapped in an infinite loop. By the 4th hit, he dies, and the boss fight is as easy as that. However, if Abstract Daddy fucking hits you, he does a shit ton of damage, so you do not want to mistime that first initial attack, and that's what I was so afraid of, because I didn't have practice doing what I just did there. I knew of the strategy, but I had never physically done it before. I believe this answer to this puzzle is always the same. So you just always want to pull that one that you saw me pull. And yeah, from this point forward, it's mostly going to be information overload. I'm going to try... I might talk a little fast to keep up with what's happening in the game. But I'm going to try and cover as much stuff as I can, talking about what needs to be done here. But yeah, so like I said, closing thoughts on Abstract Daddy. If you're confident that you can kill him that easily and properly time the first initial hit, then don't be afraid to save at Eddie. Otherwise, you should save before him if you're worried about something going terribly wrong. But yeah, so we solved that puzzle pretty quickly. Got our keys, so now we're moving on. And if you're wondering why I have the chainsaw equipped, it's because that is my weapon of choice on Eddie. I've had a lot of practice on Eddie, unlike Abstract Daddy. And with Eddie, I find the chainsaw is just so fantastic on him. It's a great weapon for that fight, which is why I end up using it. But yeah, so we visited Maria in her cell. That's all well and good. And now we're making our way over to Eddie. But yeah, and in the Eddie boss fight, like I said, actually, before I talk about that, this would be the room where you would want to save if you're confident in beating Abstract Daddy without issue. The save point is just on one of the tombstones in this room. And this is the final opportunity to do that before Eddie, as well as the boat. But yeah, see, that's the one downside to saving before Abstract Daddy, though. If you keep fucking up the boat part, you'll have to not only fight Eddie every time you want another shot at it, but you'll also have to fight Abstract Daddy. That didn't bother me too much, because Abstract Daddy, you could kill him in like 30 seconds. Like, it's not that big a deal. You have to do a little more running around, but to me, it wasn't a deal breaker, so I was okay with it. But yes, here we go, the Eddie boss fight. So this is what I do. He always lands that first hit. You can't avoid it. And then you just kind of want to trap him in this little nook here. Sometimes he'll get out like that, but this room is so small that it's still very easy to land the hits. And I believe you land 4 hits there, and once you've landed 4, Eddie will always run out of the room like that. Sometimes if you're body blocking him, he'll go for a hit on you instead. Like if you're blocking the exit and he can't get out, then his first instinct will be to try and hit you. And then during the second phase here's what you kind of want to do, is employ like a hit and run tactic. And also, the stab attack I'm using for the chainsaw here, you hold down the attack button. You don't just press it. If you were to just press it, James does this really long-winded sweeping animation. And as you can see, I had a great Eddie fight there. I don't think he even hit me, actually. I didn't take a single hit. But here we go. So I'm going to be explaining the boat segment in detail right now for you guys. And I truly hope it helps. So give it a listen and enjoy. Doing the boat in under 1:20, you have to understand, the controls are so fucking horrible. I'll try my best to explain it for you. But basically what you have to do, let me get a controller so I can visually show you. So basically what you have to do with your controller, as soon as the boat segment starts, you're not even facing the way you need to go. So the first thing you need to do is turn the boat and line it up with the light. You'll see a light at the end of the lake. That's where you need to be. So what you want to do straight out of the gate is turn the boat as fast as you can. And to do that, you simply spin the left analog stick clockwise, I believe. I believe it was clockwise, if I remember correctly. So you spin it as fast as you can, and just hope to God that you line up the boat with the light. If you miss the light or overshoot it, you're wasting too much time, and you won't make it in under 1:20. So this initial turn has to be near, and I mean very near perfect. It doesn't have to be perfection, but if you do overshoot it or undershoot it, it has to be by a very small margin, like a negligible amount, so that, when you get to the light, even if you're not dead center lined up with it, you'll still make it, because you'll be close enough to the dock where the game will just register that you've arrived. But yeah, it's a very small margin, and the game nearly expects perfection out of the player. Now, once you've successfully turned the boat, it's simply a matter of moving forward as fast as you possibly can. Now, to move the boat forward, let me see. Yeah, so you have to do the right stick counterclockwise and the left stick clockwise, and you have to do this in unison. They have to be full circles. You can't stop halfway and then skip up and start another half circle, skip up and then start another half circle. They have to be full full-on circles. And you have to do this as fast as you can, like as fast as you are humanly able to move your fingers in perfect unison. I'm not fucking around with you. If this sounds absurd to you, it's because it is. I'm not being ridiculous. The game is being ridiculous. And yes, the game actually expects you to be that fucking meticulous about it and perfect. And your rotations matter, the speed of your rotations matters, and your execution, above all else, matters. If you do any of these things incorrectly, you are slowing the boat down, losing time, and you will not make it under 1 minute and 20 seconds. Alright, so you heard it here first, folks. That was my explanation of the boat segment, and I did my best to try and help you guys visually understand what is required of you. As you can see, I got a great turn here right at the beginning, and then as soon as I saw that, all I focused on was just moving forward as fast as I can. Now, I'm pretty happy with this boat run, and it's definitely my best attempt at it that I've ever done. However, if you've watched the video this long, I do have a little secret to share with all of you viewers out there. And it may come across as, I don't know, maybe dirty, or maybe you guys will feel like I've misled you this whole time or lied to you or something. But I do have justification in making this video, and I will explain that in greater detail. But yes, despite how good this run looks that you're seeing right here, believe it or not, I'm actually not moving the boat as fast as I could be. And I am just a tad bit too short here to make the mark. This boat attempt that you're viewing right now actually isn't under 1 minute and 20 seconds. And I have not actually successfully completed a 10-star run. What you're seeing now is my best attempt at doing the 10-star run, and the only thing that I botched in this entire run was that boat segment. I did everything else to the letter. I had everything else I needed to get 10 stars. I get 9 stars by the end of this run, and the only thing I was missing was completing the boat in 1 minute and 20. And guess what? You want to know what my time was? 1 minute and 21 seconds. Yes, you heard it here first. I'm not fucking bullshitting you. I'm not lying to you. You'll see by the end credits what my score actually was. That's right. I was literally 1 second longer than I needed to be. And I tried umpteen times to do better than that, but I still have yet to get a successful run. I'll undoubtedly want to keep trying in the future. I have not platinumed this game as of yet. But I'm trying my damnedest, and I'm still really proud of this run, and I wanted to share it with you guys, even though I didn't actually make it. And all I have to say about that is basically, like with my boat run, just do what I did as best you can, but do it better. Like, especially that part where, see, I nailed the initial turn. Nailed it. Did it flawlessly. The only thing I fucked up on was I wasn't rowing fast enough to go forward. And that's why I didn't make it under 1 minute and 20. Now, as soon as you come back out of that room, you're going to have these abstract daddy enemies here. And you're going to see me absolutely get wrecked by these guys. These enemies really fucked me up. I screwed up there. I keep shooting him. But when he went down, you can actually run up and kick him like a standard enemy. And that would finish him off. But you're going to see me in the camera, especially in the face cam, get very upset. Because I fuck up here pretty hard. But, yeah, these enemies, even though you're shooting them with a shotgun, they don't seem to really care. They, for the most part, ignore it. And, yeah, I would recommend, if you're in my position here and you don't have the rifle, it would be best, as soon as you down them, to just run up and kick them. Because that kills them immediately. But they don't seem to stagger a lot, and they very often will just ignore your shots. Thankfully, I only took 1 hit there. My heart was, like, pounding out of my chest at this moment. I thought that maybe I had took too much damage, and that it would exceed the 500 that I was allowed to, and I thought I was actually going to fail. But, despite taking a lot of hits from these guys, I still am not even close to 500, which is hilarious. But, yeah, this is exactly why I said earlier to don't do what I did and take the fucking rifle, because those Abstract Daddy enemies, the rifle actually makes them stagger because it's such a powerful weapon. The shotgun half the time doesn't, and the shotgun is not very reliable or consistent on those enemies, and those enemies are fucking scary. Like, if they keep landing hits on you, you will be in a bad fucking way. So yeah, that is my recommendation to you. That's something I really wish that I had done better, because you fuck those enemies up if you have the rifle. But if you don't, they're gonna fuck you up. So yeah, use the rifle on those guys. Trust me, you won't regret it. You'll see more. There's something coming up where I absolutely lose my fucking mind and get very upset because of something that happens in this next room. So here we go. There's another 2 Abstract Daddies in this room, and I start shooting them from very far away, but there's a really awkward camera angle down the hall, and it ends up fucking me over so hard because I'm trying to get a good fix on these guys, and the camera angle just keeps messing with my sense of direction, and it ends up fucking me over really hard. I was very, very angry at this moment. But yeah, so there's another Abstract Daddy right there. What I just did there was so dangerous. I was trying to turn the camera to make it face him, but it wasn't working out for me. The camera just didn't want to behave. As you can see, I'm losing my mind here because I'm trying to get past him. He ended up getting 2 hits on me. And then right around here, the camera does this really awkward shit. Like, see, I keep trying to make the camera face him, but then it pans back to looking at James, and I'm just not allowed to see this enemy. Also, as you can see, James simply does not want to auto-lock to him. Even though I'm holding down aim and trying to shoot him, I just shoot the wall instead. I'm losing my mind at this moment. I'm getting so fucking frustrated. Very angry with this shit. And can you blame me? Like, this room is so scary because of those 2 enemies. And, the camera's just working against you the entire time. Like, it's easily the most infuriating, thing that I went through in this entire run. If you go back and watch my live stream VOD of that moment, that is one of my biggest rage outbursts I've ever done on stream. But, yeah, so now that we, that is the only real threat. There's still some enemies to come, but nothing nearly as dangerous as what you just saw. And for the most part, the rest of the run is just smooth sailing. But I wanted to talk more about how I didn't get the boat segment in under 1:20. And I really hope that you guys don't feel cheated by that, because even though I didn't do it, and trust me, no one is more pissed about that than I am, I still think this run, I still think I offer a lot of good information here to help you guys achieve it for yourselves, even though I didn't. And everything besides, well, for one, everything besides the boat segment is valid. Everything I've done in this run is worthy of 10 stars besides the boat. And even with my boat run, it's like I said, the only thing wrong with my boat run is that I just didn't go fast enough. And you know what that means? Like, I nailed the initial turn right at the beginning, lined it up perfectly with the dock, and then all you have to worry about at that point is go forward. So all that means is I didn't make it, and that's because it simply comes down to I wasn't spinning my thumbs fast enough in unison to keep the rowing motion of the boat not only consistent, but quick. I just was literally a second shy of making it. And, like, to me, I'm like, that's bullshit. I was literally only a second off. So if I was just literally a tad bit faster, this would be a valid run. And I wasn't going to let being 1 second off stop me from making this video. And that is basically what I wanted to say to you guys. Like, even though I didn't make it, I still think my video here has a lot to offer in terms of, like, helping you guys with your runs. And it serves as a great guideline to see, like, what's required. I went really hard out of my way to, like, explain the boat as best I could and how to do it. and I even had a pretty good run at it, even though it was 1 second over. It was still a great visualization of what is required. I just needed to be literally 1 second faster. So, and all I would say there, like I said, is the only thing I could have done differently there in order to achieve it would be to spin my thumbs faster. And that is just, that comes down to fucking human limitation. I couldn't spin my thumbs faster than that in the moment. Nor am I sure if I ever will be able to, but that's something wrong with me and my physical limitations. That doesn't mean that you can't do it. I'm sure you guys out there would have better luck with it than me. With these enemies, I literally just run past them and ignore them. It's pretty simple. But yeah, so that's why I still uploaded this video and this guide, because even though I couldn't do it, I still think that it serves as a great guideline for you guys, and I truly hope that you guys can appreciate that. And, you know, hopefully one day I can go back and fucking get it done myself. I still have the save file. I could try it again whenever the fuck I want. Oh, and one recommendation I would make that I actually didn't mention is, make a save before the boat. Yes, I know you're only allowed 2 saves, to achieve 10 stars, but that doesn't mean you can't make a 3rd save and practice the boat over and over and over. There's a save point right before you get on the boat, just after Eddie. So what you can do is you can save there, and fucking just practice the boat over and over until you're comfortable with it, and then once you are comfortable with it, then you go back and load that 2nd save that you made before you made your 3rd save. That way, that file is still, like, it hasn't been voided, like, because you would go far back enough that the game doesn't remember you making a 3rd save. This is common knowledge, but yeah. And yeah, just practice until you get good enough at it, and then once you feel confident, just load back before Eddie or Abstract Daddy, wherever you left off, kill them, and then try to fucking implement your practice and what you've learned. But yeah, from this point forward, it's pretty much... I think that was the last threat, actually. Those last few mannequins that were blocking the way towards getting your items back. That's it. Now it's just a straight shot to the end of the game. So you're going to see me do that rather quickly. This is another puzzle where the answer is always the same on hard difficulty. So it's Cinderella first, as you saw, Little Mermaid in the middle, and then Snow White at the end. And that answer is always the same. So you could just copy that and do it for yourselves. But yes, and as I said earlier, we are going for the dog ending, so our run is going to be ending any minute now, as soon as I get upstairs and watch the video. However, very easy to forget to pick up the Book of Crimson Ceremony, because it only spawns in the alternate Lakeview Hotel. And if you don't know what I mean by that, right now we're in the regular Lakeview Hotel, but once you watch the video in room 312, which we're about to do, then the Lakeview Hotel becomes the alternate Lakeview Hotel. And it's the same area, but just slightly different. And you'll have to, like, re-explore some areas and shit. Kind of like what happened in the hospital. But, yeah, so now we're in the alternate Lakeview Hotel. And we could run up to the dog door right now and end the game, but don't fucking do that. We need to go back to the reading room and pick up the Book of Crimson Ceremony. It wasn't in the reading room prior to this point. It's only in the alternate Lakeview Hotel. And you can tell you're in the alternate Lakeview Hotel because there's, like, water dripping from the ceiling and shit. It looks somewhat visually different. But there we go. We got the book. Now we can just run back upstairs and open the dog door. And it's as simple as that. But yeah, so that is pretty much my 10-star run. Again, I know I didn't actually achieve it. You're going to see my rating very shortly. But I tried my best, and I still went way out of my way to make this a useful enough guide to help you guys get it. And I truly hope that you guys can. So there we go. There's the dog ending. And here we are. So this is my result screen. As you can see, I got 9 stars. And I would have got 10 if it simply wasn't for the fact that I was 1 second over. As you can see, the boat stage time... 1 minute and 21 seconds. Yeah, I was literally 1 minute 1 second too long. So if I was just slightly better, just by 1 second's worth, I would have got it. And yeah, see look, my damage at 373. There was still plenty, even though I got my fucking ass beat towards the end there. I didn't even break 400 damage took. So, yeah. And we got 187 items, plus the 8 special items. We got all our shoot kills. As you can see, I got 80. 5 more than we needed. And easily more than enough for the fighting kills. We were 2 hours and 39 minutes into the run, so we still had 20 minutes to spare. Very good. We got all our endings. Action level hard, riddle level hard, 2 saves. Yeah, everything was there in order for me to get 10 stars. Just 1 second too late on the boat. But anyways, I truly hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching my guide. I truly hope that it helped you guys. And if it did, please don't forget to leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And of course, hit that notification bell to support me. I would really appreciate it. And of course, refer to my Path to Platinum guide if you want to know more info on the other trophies individually. And if you feel like having a listen to what I thought about this game's Platinum overall, you could check out my Platinum review video, which I made for this game, just sharing my thoughts about what I thought of the trophy list overall. And, of course, there's also my VODs, my live streams. Go check them out if you want to see me playing this playthrough in real time. Go check it out. Or tune in for the live streams in the future when I do them. Stay up to date with my channel for more videos and more content. Have a great rest of your day, guys. And I will definitely see you in the next one.